Have you ever wondered why some men in their 70s still walk with strength and confidence, while others just past 60 struggle to rise from a chair without wobbling? It's not just aging, it's not just bad luck. The truth is far more shocking. Every single morning, your body is quietly breaking down your muscle, weakening your blood flow, and stealing your strength below the belt before you even leave the bedroom. And most men have no idea it's happening until it's too late. I'm Dr. James, a men's health specialist with over 30 years of experience helping older men reclaim energy, performance, and control. And what I've seen again and again is this. The first 2 hours after you wake up hold the key to how your body ages, especially your legs, your circulation, and yes, your manhood. You see, most men are skipping the one habit that could restore their blood flow, muscle tone, and confidence. It's not a drug, it's not exercise, it's food. 5 specific morning foods that fuel your arteries, protect your nerves, and reverse the slow decline most men mistake as normal. Today, I'll walk you through each one, how they work, when to eat them, and why they've helped thousands of men feel 30 again. And what you'll hear in the next few minutes might just change the way you age for the rest of your life. Before we begin, if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time. Hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss a simple habit that could change the way you age. And if this message speaks to you, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. I'm here to serve you better, and your feedback truly matters. All right, let's get right into it. Starting with the very first and perhaps most overlooked food that can dramatically improve your blood flow, rebuild muscle after sleep, and restore strength where it matters most. It's simple, affordable, and already sitting in most kitchens. The whole boiled egg. 1. The whole boiled egg, muscle igniter, morning repair fuel. When I was a younger doctor, I used to think strength came from exercise alone. But over the years, after working with thousands of older men, I saw a pattern that changed everything I thought I knew. The men who kept their strength, balance, and performance, even well into their 70s, weren't necessarily the ones hitting the gym. They were the ones who started their mornings with the right fuel. And for many of them, it began with something as simple as a boiled egg. You see, after a night of sleep, your body enters a catabolic state, breaking down muscle for energy. This hits older men harder than most realize. It's not just your legs that suffer, it's your energy, your circulation, and yes, even your ability to perform. The whole boiled egg, though humble, is one of nature's most powerful answers. It contains all 9 essential amino acids needed to stop that muscle breakdown and trigger repair. But here's the part most men miss. The power is in the yolk. That bright yellow center carries vital nutrients like vitamin D, B12, and choline. These don't just help rebuild muscle, they help your brain communicate clearly with your body. And that's essential for coordination, nerve function, and blood flow. The amino acid leucine, found in rich supply in eggs, specifically triggers muscle protein synthesis. It's like flipping the switch from breakdown to rebuilding. And for older men, that switch becomes harder to flip without the right input. I've had men tell me, "Doc, I started eating 1 or 2 boiled eggs every morning, and within a couple of weeks, I noticed I didn't feel as shaky walking downstairs." Another man in his late 60s said he felt more grounded and energized just from changing what he put on his plate. And no, these weren't bodybuilders or athletes, just regular men who were tired of feeling tired. If you've been avoiding the yolk because of outdated fears about cholesterol, I want to set the record straight. New research confirms that 1 to 2 eggs per day do not increase heart disease risk in healthy adults. In fact, they often help support weight control and lean muscle maintenance, both critical factors in preserving your manhood and circulation as you age. To get the most out of this simple habit, boil your eggs for 8 to 10 minutes, then transfer them to cold water. This helps them peel easily and keeps the texture smooth. Pair them with a few slices of avocado or cucumber, and you've got a digestion-friendly breakfast that sets the tone for your entire day. But eggs are just the beginning. Because if the egg is your morning builder, the next food on our list works quietly in the background like your body's daily support team, fueling endurance, smoothing circulation, and reducing hidden inflammation that slowly wears down your strength. And chances are it's already sitting in your pantry. Let's take a closer look. 2. Oats plus chia seeds, the circulation duo. There was a man named Harold I once worked with. He was 67 when he first came into my clinic, complaining of early fatigue, cold feet, and that heavy, dragging feeling in his legs by mid-morning. He told me, "I walk every day, Doc. I thought I was doing everything right, so why do my legs feel like sandbags?" I looked at his routine, and the one thing missing was what he was feeding his body before his day ever began. His breakfast was a piece of toast and coffee. No fuel, no foundation. I introduced him to a simple shift: oats and chia seeds. Now, I know oats don't sound like a miracle food, but that's because their power lies in how quietly they work. Steel-cut or rolled oats are packed with beta-glucan, a special fiber that doesn't just keep your gut happy, it calms chronic inflammation. And inflammation, especially the silent kind, is one of the biggest enemies of circulation and stamina after 60. It restricts blood vessels, stiffens joints, and slowly robs you of flexibility, energy, and confidence in your own body. When combined with chia seeds, something powerful happens. Chia adds omega-3s, magnesium, potassium, and plant-based protein to the mix. These nutrients strengthen the tiny muscles that line your arteries and improve how your blood vessels respond when they're under stress. Together, oats and chia create a kind of slow-burning energy, not a sugar spike, but a steady flow of fuel that keeps your legs light and your blood moving freely for hours. What I love about this combo is that it's not just for athletes or health nuts. It's for regular men who want to get out of bed and feel capable again. It's for the guy who doesn't want to feel winded climbing a flight of stairs. It's for the man who's noticed it's harder to stay on his feet, harder to last through a walk with his wife, harder to feel present in his body. Oats and chia don't scream with power, but give it a week or two and you'll feel it. And if you're wondering how to start, it's easy. Warm some oats in water or almond milk. Stir in a spoonful of chia seeds just before it finishes cooking. Sprinkle with a little cinnamon, maybe some blueberries if you have them, and that's it. No fuss, no expensive powders. Just real food, doing what your body has quietly been asking for. Harold came back to see me after a month. He said, "I didn't believe it, but my legs don't ache anymore and I don't crash by noon like I used to." That's what real nourishment does. It restores without shouting. But not every powerful food comes in a bowl. Some are small, convenient, and often overlooked. And one of the most surprising and effective can be eaten in under a minute. It's probably sitting on your kitchen counter right now, but the way you eat it makes all the difference. Let's talk about that next. 3. Slightly unripe banana, the balance restorer. Let me tell you something most men don't realize about bananas. It's not just a fruit, it's a tool. A quiet, powerful tool for balance, stability, and coordination. I learned this lesson from a patient named Carl. He was 72, still sharp, still active, but he'd started to experience a troubling sense of unsteadiness. Nothing dramatic, just a little sway when he turned too fast. A hesitation stepping off the curb. A fear that maybe, just maybe, his legs weren't as reliable as they used to be. He was eating healthy, walking every morning, and staying hydrated, but something was still missing. I asked him, "Carl, how do you start your morning?" He shrugged. "Toast, sometimes cereal, maybe a banana if I feel like it." That's when I leaned in. Next time, make it a firm banana, the kind that's still pale yellow, maybe even a bit green at the ends. Don't wait for it to get too ripe. You see, slightly unripe bananas contain a special kind of starch, resistant starch, that acts like prebiotic fuel for your gut. That's important because a healthy gut doesn't just help with digestion. It improves mineral absorption, especially magnesium, zinc, and iron, nutrients that directly support nerve signals, muscle control, and energy flow. When your gut runs better, so does everything else. But there's more. That firmer banana has more potassium and vitamin B6 than its softer spotted cousin, and those nutrients are essential for muscle contraction and nervous system function. In plain terms, they help your legs react faster, stay steadier, and communicate more clearly with your brain. Carl started having half a firm banana every morning, sometimes sliced over oats, sometimes blended into a light smoothie. And 2 weeks later, he told me, "I don't feel as wobbly when I get out of bed anymore." That might sound small, but for a man in his 70s, not feeling wobbly is everything. It's the difference between confidence and hesitation, between a walk around the block and staying inside out of fear, between feeling like a burden and feeling in control. There's one more trick I share with patients who use bananas this way. Peel them from the bottom, not the stem. It's cleaner, easier, and you get to use a bit of the inner lining of the peel, which carries trace amounts of fiber and antioxidants that support blood sugar control. Small things, yes, but the body runs on small things. So now every morning, Carl reaches for his banana like it's part of his morning armor. Not just breakfast, balance in disguise. But as good as that banana is for control and coordination, your body also needs something deeper. Something that works behind the scenes to rebuild tissue, restore energy, and calm inflammation after a long night's sleep. And it's hiding in your fridge right now, smooth, cold, and surprisingly powerful. Let's uncover it together. 4. Greek yogurt, the quiet muscle coach. There's a kind of silence that happens in the early morning. No traffic, no distractions, just you and your body waking up together. And for many older men, that's when the aches, stiffness, and subtle weakness start to speak. It's not always pain, it's more like a whisper, a feeling that your legs aren't quite ready, that your balance is off, that something inside you is fading a little faster than you expected. I remember one man in particular. His name was Ed. He was 69, recently retired, and trying hard to stay active. But every morning he told me, "Doc, it feels like my legs forgot how to be legs overnight." He'd stretch, take a walk, even do light yoga, but that heaviness in the thighs and the slow start to the day, it lingered. And then I asked him about his breakfast. Turns out Ed was skipping protein completely in the morning. No eggs, no yogurt, just coffee and toast. That might be fine for someone in their 20s, but at 60 or 70, the body doesn't rebuild muscle the same way. It needs help. It needs support. It needs something I call silent strength. That's where Greek yogurt comes in. Unlike regular yogurt, it's strained to remove extra whey, leaving behind a rich, thick, protein-dense food that quietly feeds your muscles exactly what they're craving. Casein protein. Casein digests slowly, releasing a steady stream of amino acids that rebuild and protect your muscles for hours. Not just your arms or chest, your legs, your core, and yes, even the deep pelvic muscles that support performance and circulation. Greek yogurt also brings something else to the table: probiotics. These aren't just good for digestion, they help your body absorb the nutrients that support bone strength, nerve communication, and muscle control. Combine that with its natural calcium and vitamin D, and you've got a breakfast that strengthens from the inside out. Ed added just one serving of plain Greek yogurt each morning, sometimes with banana slices, sometimes with a sprinkle of cinnamon and a drizzle of raw honey. Within a month, he said he could feel the difference. Not dramatic at first, but steady, real. His legs moved easier, his balance improved, and that foggy, sluggish start to his mornings, it started to lift. Sometimes the most powerful coaches are the quietest ones. You don't notice them shouting on the sidelines. They're just there, doing the work in the background, helping you show up stronger every single day. But as good as Greek yogurt is, there's one final food that plays an even deeper role, something that doesn't just repair and restore but activates blood flow at the cellular level. It comes from the sea. It's rich, oily, and packed with compounds your arteries are quietly begging for. Let's talk about it next. 5. Salmon and oily fish, the blood flow superfood. Years ago, I had a patient named Ron. He was 74, sharp as a tack, but tired of one thing, feeling like his legs belonged to someone else. He said, "Doc, it's not pain exactly. It's just, Chia, I don't trust them like I used to." His steps felt heavier, slower. He wasn't stumbling, but something deep inside wasn't firing the way it used to. And what troubled him most? The quiet decline in his circulation, not just in his legs, but in ways he didn't want to say out loud. After looking over his diet, I asked him how often he ate oily fish. He chuckled and said, "Is tuna in a can once a month good enough?" That told me everything. For men over 60, especially those noticing signs of fatigue, stiffness, or performance loss, the body's ability to move blood efficiently has likely been slowing for years. And when blood flow drops, everything slows with it. Your strength, your focus, your intimacy, and even your confidence. That's where salmon and other oily fish come in. Salmon is rich in omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA. These aren't just healthy fats, they are fuel for your arteries, helping to reduce inflammation, soften vessel walls, and improve the way your blood travels through your body. And as we age, we don't just need protein to build muscle, we need nutrients that help our body use that protein effectively. Omega-3s make every gram of protein work harder for you. But the benefits don't stop at circulation. Salmon also delivers vitamin B12 and vitamin D, both critical for keeping the communication lines between your brain and your muscles clear and responsive. Without B12, you may feel clumsy, slow, or out of sync with your own body. Without vitamin D, muscle fatigue creeps in, and so does the risk of falls, poor balance, and nerve issues. These aren't just numbers on a lab test. They're the building blocks of how we move, how we stand, and how we feel in our own skin. The best part? You don't need a fancy recipe. A simple pan-seared piece of salmon brushed with olive oil and lemon can change the way your body feels by lunchtime. No fresh fish? Sardines or mackerel packed in olive oil are powerful and affordable. Add them to toast, mix into a salad, or eat them straight with a few crackers. I saw Ron again a few months later. He smiled as he walked in, taller, more sure of his steps. "You were right," he said. "I didn't realize how much better I could feel until I started feeding my blood what it needed." And that's exactly what this is all about. These 5 foods don't just fuel your body, they speak directly to the parts of you that age tends to silence. But the real question is, what happens when you put them all together consistently every morning? What can you expect in just 7, 14, or 30 days? That's what I'll share with you next. Conclusion. What I've seen again and again in clinic and in life is that change doesn't come from doing something big once. It comes from doing something small, consistently. 1 boiled egg in the morning. A warm bowl of oats with chia seeds. A firm banana not too ripe. A scoop of Greek yogurt. A few bites of salmon or sardines. These aren't just foods, they're signals. Signals to your body that say, "I'm not giving up, I'm rebuilding." I've watched men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s take these simple steps and rediscover something they thought was gone. Steadier legs, clearer energy, more confidence in their walk, in their connection, and in their manhood. You don't need a new prescription, you need a new rhythm. The first 2 hours of your day are powerful. You can keep losing strength, or you can choose to restore it 1 bite at a time. And if you start today, you won't have to wait long. In just a week, you may feel something shift. In a month, you may not recognize the man in the mirror. The power's always been there. Now it's time to feed it.